Okay, say that again, because I just started.
Seriously?
Alright,
Welcome to part 2. We lost all our fun.
yeah. We're going to re-sample some boozes here.
Which means we need fresh glasses.
Well,
Unless you just want to do it in reverse.
Yeah, we'll just do it in reverse.
Okay. This is a surprise.
You're going to see us coping with the loss of our sincere reactions to these brews, which I feel like were gold.
We talked so much about corn.
They were really interesting.
And Columbine.
Yeah.
And cocaine.
It was the greatest, most important liquor review in American history.
This was our room full of vampires and there is nothing.
We're going to talk about one of Liv's choices, and we've already talked about this, so we're going to seem like bored assholes.
You are unknowingly the guy at the party who shows up and asks for an entire recap of a 20-minute conversation.
Yeah. And it's like so lazy and insincere. We even talked about these lights. This is from the Bridgeland Distillery, which Liv admires for being local and for making square bottles.
Also, I just really enjoyed that their only signage is distillery in very large letters in a very industrial, not even industrial neighborhood.
But an industrial looking building.
Yeah.
Like their building is cool.
And when the Boulevard of Broken Dreams painting, you know what it is, you just don't know what it's called. When you drive past it, their main entrance is very reminiscent of that. If the inside of the Broken Dreams Cafe was from Oz.
Are you also referring to night owls at the cafe painting?
That's Boulevard of Dreams. No. Okay.
There might be two different paintings that we're referring to, but the iconic painting that contains 4 people, one of whom is working, is Night Owls at the Diner.
I think I've been lied to about the name of that painting. Or it was a name of one of the many, whatever the non-comedy version of parody is.
Yeah. Pastiche. So, I replied that I don't like short square bottles. I like triangular bottles if they're going to be new and fancy, or I like old-timey bottles. Like I like a mellow corn in its plastic bottle with its ugly yellow label that just has a race car on it.
I'm not even 100% certain if we mentioned this is Tabor corn bourbon.
I don't think we did either.
This is going to be even more of a disaster. Okay, this is Tabor corn bourbon. Tabor corn is the best corn.
Notoriously good, famous corns.
Good corn.
If you live in Alberta, is what Liv said.
And we're very uncertain if it exists
if other
outside.
Provinces or maybe northern Michigan or whatever know that.
Utah might know.
It's a regional thing.
There's apparently an emergency. Please hold.
Yeah, this video is crisis.
Oh, is it a tornado again?
But,
Is it the lockdown restrictions again?
all it said was, there's an alert. It gave me no information.
We recently got stricter lockdown procedures for Alberta, and our premier did mention that they would be sending out a mass text to all smartphones telling people you are not allowed to have people in your house. COVID-19.
I even sampled this.
I know!
For Phil. This is the longest editing of my life.
Oh, also, oh god, it's already in our glasses! Ah. Well, less so yours.
And all my acknowledgements of how drunk I already am are in the previous video. Okay, cheers. Let's attempt to describe this again.
It smells very sweet.
First time around, I didn't like the smell. Like something alarmed me. But now, second time around, that taste. It is, yeah, it's more complex than I gave it credit for the first time. I still feel like it's kind of missing something, but it is so drinkable.
Mm.
Like, it's just downright delicious, really.
It is warm, not burning. It's kind of creamy. It's a little smoky.
Yeah, it's... The most boring part of this video is going to be repeatedly saying, in the first video.
In the first video. You can have a counter.
I can't do that. I don't have the skills or the technology. I could try, though. Because I'm drunk and ambitious.
It's a fun drinking game at home. How many times did we say in the last video?
So the flavor of this, as I visualize things, it's not high and sharp, which some people would also describe as like hot or burning. It's not that. It lacks that. And it lacks earthiness and peatiness and low notes as well. And yet there's something just kind of off-center, where it's not sugary, sweet, or weird, or puckering. It's every flavor left over after the flavors that I know how to describe.
It's kind of peppery.
Absolutely drinkable and delicious.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I have no problem with it. I would take this over a scotch. Not a great scotch like Lagavulin, but that tomatin that I last got. I drank a bunch of that neat, and it always felt like it was a little burny, and I was kind of puckering and salivating and all that.
Mm.
I could drink this over that, no problem.
Controversial opinion. How do you feel about this versus the Dickel?
Directly answer that question, this is nicer than the Dickel. The thing about the Dickel, and when you get a tickle for the Dickel, when a man loves a woman,
I was gonna say, was that your finger and finger?
and he drinks straight ryes or whiskeys or scotches, you do want some pungent flavors in there.
When you want the man scotch, the manly things.
Yeah, like when you do a shot of whiskey, or a shot of rye in particular, there's a fight in every bottle. You want it to be a little bit harder, and things like George Dickel and Golden Wedding, and there was a third one in there, I believe. Even the Sazerac rye that I've gotten accustomed to now, which I didn't like at first, because I was drinking things like George Dickel and Golden Wedding, which are smoother and nicer, and like much more drinkable, that still give you that kick that you want to feel when you do a shot of whiskey. Having run out of those things and resorted to a bit of the dredges, I now kind of like Sazerac for its strength. Same thing happened with
the 2-liter bottle of Jameson.
I made a Jameson scented candle. I would be at risk for eating it.
It'd be the grossest candle.
If they could,
And I've been given a bacon candle.
if they could actually make a candle that smelled like Jameson tasted, because they are still two different things. The way fumes is the wrong word, but the way things enter your nasal cavity at the back of your throat and how that affects perception of taste and blah 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 is really complicated and really individual. We're science geniuses, by the way.
Oh yeah, that was the other thing that happened.
In the greatest video ever.
In the greatest video ever, we did have a groundbreaking scientific talk about the different kind of stills.
Oh yeah, with the gin stills, because
We got 2 things, as may have been spoiled at the beginning of this video.
we also got some new gin. To recap the important things that we said prior, as we both take drinks and have a moment of silence.
Bit my tongue. Anyway,
And
this is
and
good.
next to godliness.
we'll let you know if we make it into a cocktail.
This, since I walked to the camera the first time, I'll walk to it again. We chose this for the dual reasons of not knowing what Cloudberry is, but liking that name, and it being from Newfoundland. As Canadians and as drinkers,
We respect the Newfoundlanders.
we automatically love Newfoundland. And coincidentally, on a weird Newfoundland kick emotionally, where I was looking at some photography stuff, and Newfoundland. And this might not be. I'm gonna stand on this. I'm gonna pull a Jacob and just be a dick. Newfoundland is the most photographically beautiful province that there is.
Ooh, that is a...
It's a bold statement.
This is a bold statement.
Because you can get...
And Quebec is coming for us.
Quebec? Why is Quebec photographically beautiful?
I don't know, I just feel like they would be angry.
It might be architecturally beautiful.
Yes.
Fun fact, that's really boring. I've been to Quebec, historically and architecturally very cool, and lots of great stuff there. I've never seen a great photograph that just had a Quebec characteristic, and I was like, oh yeah, it's beautiful, I want to go back to Quebec. Whereas I have felt that way in photographs of Newfoundland, Labrador.
New Brunswick. Beautiful.
I was going to say the other
Nova Scotia.
the other coast, the Yukon.
Oh.
Everyone knows that
No trees.
Everyone knows that BC is beautiful, but it's like a lazy, boring, beautiful.
They have it on their license
It's
plate. Just like,
inspirational, motivational poster, beautiful. Of just you got fucking killer whales.
you got a
in the
university
sound.
rowing team. And Saskatchewan is just literally yellow field, and we have that in Alberta. So
You can take beautiful pictures of Saskatchewan.
yeah, because there's nothing in your way.
Yeah. That doesn't mean Saskatchewan is actually a beautiful place to be. It's just
No, they're just Saskatchewan.
yeah, it's just Saskatchewan. You can see it from here. It's right there.
Well, not there.
It's
We're
a-
facing
it's a
west.
Yeah.
Anyway, gin from Newfoundland with berries we don't know about in a copper still, and it's triple distilled. We're fairly
Yeah.
certain this color is from cloudberries. And if you're using this video to rate your urine, if you're closer to this, you're doing okay.
You're doing okay.
If you look like this, drink some water
Very bad.
and see a doctor.
Also, the fact that you're on the other side of some black lights probably also fucking this diagnosis up, but we are respectable, important scientists on...
Well, we can murder someone in the bedroom later and figure it out.
or jizz.
Or jizz.
Is this oak barrel? I feel like I was detecting more oakiness this time than last time.
That might just be the remnants of...
Yeah, it absolutely might be. This got more complex than the first time we tried it. It's still
It's very good.
like really fantastic. It's tough when you have nothing bad to say about something because you struggle to find anything to say at all.
We are fairly certain that you could just shake this over ice and serve it to your friends and be like, yeah, it's a martini.
Absolutely. To rehash that conversation, to bullet point it for people who are in a hurry.
We've already sat through this.
Most vermouth is room temperature and outlived its usefulness. Like, it expires. Vermouth goes bad, and you should refrigerate it, which people don't know. That's why it has a bad rep. But it also is like a waste of money. Vermouth doesn't actually add that much to any cocktail. Like, get Angostura bitters and put a drop of that in anything, it will add complexity and depth the same way that vermouth would. Like, that's vermouth's goal. It's just to add complexity and some cool, weird, low notes to a drink, like gin, especially if that gin is bad. Because you can make something seem good if it's shit by making it complicated. True of all art forms.
Any drink where they tell you it's an acquired taste. Probably shit.
Any genre of music where the key selling point is complexity, there's probably nothing underneath that. It's probably not good or enjoyable.
What we're saying is we don't like Tool.
Who aren't even that complex. They're the
Just like as people.
lazy stoner idiots version of a math rock band. And then I also hate math rock. So yeah, it's hard to find things to say about this gin. Oh, like I said in the previous video, it's not as ginny as the Roku gin. Japanese gin Roku is the best gin ever. It has so much gin characteristic. It still kind of puckers you, it still kind of burns.
But in the most refreshing way.
But it tastes like the pure essence of gin. It is the platonic ideal of what gin should be. And if you drink it on the rocks, it doesn't taste like a martini. It tastes like pure gin. Like if gin went to heaven, this is where gin would taste like? That's not a sentence. If gin came from heaven, this would be pure gin. It is unadulterated by reality. Whereas this Cloudberry gin tastes like...
It's the mortal equivalent.
Yeah, it tastes like human gin. Where there's...
Still really good gin, though.
Yeah, where the impurities in there give it characteristics and they make it a person. They give it a personality of its own. Because being perfect isn't a personality. Being perfect is the absence of personality.
I love you. You're too drunk for us to continue this.
I have no choice but to accept that. Because
We drank. We liked it. If you drink and like it, maybe try Coke.